In that American prospect piece, that some people, particularly in the reform community and among progressives, see this as a great opportunity for returning to the New Deal regulatory period instigated by Franklin Roosevelt in the pits of the Depression. You don't think that's happening?
Well, I mean, there's several difficulties here. First of all, at this point, what you've got are the Democrats are the party right at this point that's getting most of the financial money. When Franklin D. Roosevelt won in 1932, we know he wasn't getting most of the financial money. The second thing is, I don't think we're more than partway through. The Democrats think it's going to be another 1933. They get in there, they can do all the New Deal stuff. My feeling is that they're coming in halfway, and they're going to have to make hard decisions that are going to eat the Democratic coalition like a bologna sandwich. They're going to start civil wars.
How come? What do you mean?
Well, if you're going to bail out Wall Street while you're saying, oh, Social Security recipients, maybe they don't even need that money. There are a lot of people in the financial community basically want to push Social Security on some sort of voluntary basis and needs test it and get rid of it. Now, a lot of Democrats in the labor movement are very nervous about Obama. They put out press releases talking about Rubinomics because they see that the flesh of the Democratic Party carries a lunchbox, but the new soul of the Democratic Party wears a pinstripe suit.
And the Republicans, what do they do?
Oh, they're
more of the same? Is it? I mean,
different flavors. I can't imagine anything worse than having another 4 years of George W. Bush. I think he's probably the biggest disaster at the worst period of time that we could ever have a disaster in modern history. But could the Republicans be different and better? Oddly enough, I think they might have a small bit of integrity as opposition people. Whereas subordinate to Bush and all the people that control national Republican politics, the Republicans were a waste of time. But, for example, Senator Grassley of Iowa was ranking Republican on the Senate Finance Committee. He opposed the Fannie-Freddie bill and said it was a payoff for Wall Street and K Street. That's the lobbyists in Washington. You now have a senator from Alabama, Shelby, who's the ranking Republican on Senate banking, totally opposed to any more bailouts. We've got to let the markets do it. Well, the National Republican Party doesn't believe that for 1 minute.
Because they get their money from the same
That's right. The same money that goes to the Democrats.
Right.
But would these people develop a bit more of a sense of ordinary Americans and live up to some of your 4th of July speeches if they don't have a Republican White House? Yes, I think some of them might be helpful in talking about how the Democrats just want to move in and get the money so that, they can get the bigger checks.
So we at least finally have an election about something, don't we? I mean, with the Fed and the economy at the heart of the debate now?
The people who have the connections with the lobbies and the big donors have absolutely no problem with all these bailouts and rescues. But they don't dare admit it, because who's rescuing the laid-off worker? Nobody's rescuing them. The fact that the Democrats don't want to talk about what they're going to do if they get the chance, that's dishonesty. But the Republican Party is thoroughly dishonest in the same way.
But we are going to have a new president in January, no matter how despairing people may be about that. What is the first thing you would find convincing if he did it to meet this meltdown, this issue, this crisis?
Well, I guess I would, not talking out of school particularly, Obama told me one time he'd read some of my books, so I would be very interested and impressed if he in January started to say something has really gone wrong in this country, and I'm not sure that I or anybody else can turn it around, but we've borrowed so much money, we've let this Las Vegas version of what used to be ordinary banks in our ordinary hometowns go berserk. Our currency is having enormous problems. People are losing their homes. We've got to face up to what our problems are and talk about how this happened. Who did it? Why? Who made the money? Well, I think if he were to start talking about, I'd take him seriously, but I think half of Washington would have a problem in their stomach that needed quick relief, let me put it that way, because you don't rock that boat. You pretend that it's a sound economy, and if it's not sound, it's nothing that the old Democratic elixir can't fix. You know, old New Deal in a bottle will have a couple of swigs and you'll be happy again. I don't expect them to level.
But is it conceivable to you that a John McCain might have gotten the message now to see what's at stake in the presidency that he would hold if he is elected, and that he might actually turn out to be a reformer?
Well, I think there's some element there. In contrast to what you sort of osmose at the Harvard Law School, what you osmose in a naval family, I think would be much less sycophancy towards Wall Street and the money crowd. So I think McCain has that. On the other hand, he doesn't have any knowledge. Anybody who thought that Phil Gramm was somebody who could instruct you in fairness to ordinary people, and you're right, this is the guy, the nation of whiners, remember, yep. Phil? So I'm very dubious. I think part of McCain would probably feel like his father and grandfather, the naval officers, but you know, he's a Republican, he'd have a Republican package.
The book is Bad Money: Reckless Finance, Failed Politics, and the Global Crisis of American Capitalism. And as I said at the beginning of this interview, if you have to read one book, this is the one to do it. Kevin Phillips, thanks very much for being with me.
Good to see you.